My name is Carol Massey. I'm the Young Workforce Lead for Bonaccord Care. Dealing with the apprenticeship schemes has been something that I've really valued. I think getting to know young people and investing in their growth it's an absolute privilege. I think that they bring so much innovation to the workforce. They come with fresh ideas, they're fresh eyes, they're really creative with how they can do things, and they love being part of teams and going and working alongside colleagues. We've really enjoyed working with the apprentices and found it to be really valuable, and also investing that 18 months in them and giving them their qualification and their SVQ. It means that we're developing in our workforce and thinking about the bigger picture.
Up until a couple of years ago, I didn't really need anybody to actually care for me. But now that I'm stuck in here, I do. Young Ellie, she can come and tell you what she's been doing, so you know there's a life outside that door.
My name's Ellie Harrison, I'm 20 years old and I'm a modern apprentice at Margaret Klein Court. Well, I do personal care every morning, and that can take up to 3 hours, not for one person but for all of them. And then you write up all your contact notes just saying what you did for them and how they were. And then you do like welfare checks during the day, and it's like you buzz them just to see how they are on the buzzer, and they'll speak back to you and you just write down that you've heard from them. And I do some of their laundry as well, and they're never in their flat. Never. They're always out and about, so you see them all the time. If you're just sitting in the office writing your notes, somebody will come and speak to you. All the time. You can just see them through the little crack in the window. One of my favourite parts of the job is interacting with service users, because I like speaking to them, and they always have something to tell you. They've always got a story about like ages ago, years ago before you were born, and they like to speak to you. And if you don't speak to them, then that's it. If you don't speak to them, they'll be upset. So I quite like speaking to them, hearing all their stories and everything. It's good. This is Lorraine. She stays in Margaret Klein Court. We go to her once a day, sometimes more. Just depends really. I like going into her in the morning because she always has something funny to say. As soon as you ring a doorbell and it opens, you get a hello from the back, from the best of the back of the bedroom. You get a hello. It just starts your morning, really, to be honest. It's better than when you have no conversation. She just, as soon as you knock on the door, you can hear her speaking to you as the door slowly opens.
This is Ellie, and she's one of the carers that works in Margaret Klein Court and comes in to me whenever her rota is on my days. Mm-hmm. And she'll wash and dress me.
Blow dry your hair.
Blow dry. You haven't been doing that lately.
No, it was a one-time thing.
She'll blow dry my hair and we'll chat, and if there's anything bothering me, she'll ask what it is and try and solve it. She's
really fun. She's easy to speak to. She'll speak to you about anything. She's really good to speak to and have a conversation with. And she knows how to have a laugh with you. So it makes your job easier when you go in the morning, and she's like all ready to speak to you when you get in, and she just makes you laugh as soon as you go in. I sounded like Ellie, who's bright and sort of bubbly, and she really sort of acts as though she does not act, but she really comes over that she does care. And not just doing her job. She's got a heart in it that she wants to care. She does care for you. She has feelings for you. I went to Torrey Academy for 5 years, and then I went to Lochside for 1 year, and I took modern studies all through school. I loved modern studies. It was like my favourite subject. And I took music, I did talent shows, I did everything to do with music that you could think of. I quite liked English as well, actually, which is quite surprising for me, but I did like it. But none of it relates to what I do now, but it just shows like whatever you do in school doesn't have to be your job when you're older. You can still like it, regardless of what you pick. Well, I went to college to study health and social care, and I really liked like all about it. Like we learned about care plans and support plans, everything like that, but I thought I wanted to do it in person. I wanted to do it more like hands-on experience than writing. So I decided to sign up for an apprenticeship instead. It's hard going. You meet a lot of people that are really different, but I feel like once you open a conversation with them, you'll get closer to them, and they'll open up to you, and it's much easier to go in on a daily basis and just say, "Hi, are you ready?" than it is on your first day. You're a bit like, I don't really want to speak. And then you get nervous, and then it just comes out. It just comes easy to you when you learn from other people. Like by shadowing, if you shadow staff, you just learn, oh, actually, I'm not as nervous now as I was when I first walked in. I like speaking to people, to everyone. I'll speak to anyone, it doesn't bother me. So I like interacting with other people, and I like caring for people. I cared for some family members already, so I thought, I think I'll actually quite like to do that as a job. So I thought I'll try it and see how I get on, and I wouldn't change it. I'm so happy that I picked to do it instead of something else. You're not being like watched continually like you're in like when you're in a classroom and you're watched all the time. You're not. You shadow for your first couple of weeks, and then they kind of let you do your own thing, but little bit by little bit. So like when I first started, I shadowed for ages, and then I did lunches on my own, which it wasn't as hard going. It was just putting in meals and speaking to them. And then I got morning care on my own, and then I got a whole day on my own. So it's like progression of being on your own. The thing that surprised me the most was the different needs of different people. Like they can vary. Like some people need equipment, some people don't. It's completely one end to the other. Completely different. Some people can't actually speak to you, and they've got picture cards to use, and I've never experienced any of that before, until now. Before I was a modern apprentice, I was really impatient. Like really, my patience was so little, but now I'm so patient with people. I just let them take their time. I feel like empathy is a big thing you have to have. It's a big skill you have to have when you're working in care, because they can get upset, and you have to know how to deal with them essentially and speak to them. Communicate. You need to be able to communicate and work as a team for double ups and such, because we have a few double ups. So you have to be able to work in a team so that you both work on the one person. So like with equipment, so you have to be able to work as part of a team as well as on your own.
I'm Lorraine. I am a logistics planner at Bonaccord Care, and I work at Dominies Court, one of the shelter complexes. So as my role as a logistics planner, it's kind of hard. We've always said it's quite hard to explain. So each day is totally different. So we are reporting on different kind of stats that we get asked to do like on a daily basis. We're helping to make sure that we meet like budgetary targets. We're giving support to service supervisors who are out in the buildings and the assistant managers of the service to help make sure that the frontline staff have everything that they need basically. So I started as an apprentice 3 years ago, and I was an apprentice for around 18 months. In that time I completed my SVQ level 2 in business administration, and at the end of the 18 months I was successful in getting a post as an administrator. After my modern apprenticeship I went on to be a graduate apprentice, which is at Robert Gordon's University, and I'm studying my business management degree. So for my modern apprenticeship, it's obviously all in the work, and you spend a couple hours a week doing your SVQ, but you don't really notice it as much, I think, because you're just writing about what you're doing in work, so it's just reflective writing. So it was actually maybe a couple hours a week, but it doesn't feel like a lot. My graduate apprenticeship there is an hour class every week, which is in work time. And I spend quite a few hours a week studying. I get time in work, and I do a lot at home as well. So for my graduate apprenticeship, I am doing a range of different things. You do 10-week modules. So so far I've done finance, business environment, managing people at work, marketing and sales. I would say the apprenticeship is actually quite fun. Although you're working, there's so much like fun parts to it, like getting to work with other apprentices, kind of getting days out to do different activities. There's so much extra support as well that it just makes it just really fun, I think. I think both apprenticeships, have made me more confident and more motivated. I think it's just shown me that if you put in hard work, then you'll get a great reward at the end of it. I think people who think health and social care is just a support worker, it's so much more than that. When I first started, that's what I thought it was, and I thought I don't kind of want to work on the front line. That's not what for me. And then I realised from starting as an apprentice, there's so many job roles. And I think for me, like I started off as an apprentice and I've gone up to a logistics planner, and it just shows that within the company you can kind of move around and do different things. And I think with my graduate apprenticeship as well, it showed me like I've really liked marketing, and there's finance, and there's so much different parts of the company that you don't think about when you think of health and social care. You just think the people on the front line delivering the care, but it's so much more than that. My advice for a school leaver would be to not worry, because at 15 I had no idea what I wanted to do. At 21 I still don't quite know what I want to do, but I think getting my qualification in this business admin and then going on to do a graduate apprenticeship, it showed me that you don't really need to have it figured out, because you're always learning, there's always new opportunities to do things. And I think at Bonaccord Care especially, like, there's people who move around, you know, they go from one role to the next. You don't really have to have it figured out. I don't think anyone does at 15.
The advice I would give to a young person taking on an apprenticeship is just go and absolutely own it. Go in there and own your learning, own your development, and just take every single opportunity that's given to you.
Bonaccord Care is really good. You get your I think we do one meeting a month all together, all the apprentices together, just to speak about our experiences and do our training and whatever, but you can also get one-to-ones. So you get support from your line manager, but then you also get extra support.
Hello, my name is Van Davidson, and I'm a modern apprentice support worker, and I've been here for 9 months.
My name's Hannah, and I'm also a modern apprentice at Craigie Gardens. I'm coming up to just a year being with Bonaccord Care.
My name's Maya, and I'm a support worker at Stockett Grange, and I've been here for 9 months. It feels like a job. At the same time, it's fun, because then we do get to come here and work as a group as well, and share like what we do in our workplace, and it is different from each other. So it is good. It is work, but it's good.
Yeah, like you feel like you're working as a team, because
Yeah.
we know we're all kind of in the same boat and we're got different experiences, so we kind of just tell each other how we're getting on, and yeah, so it's good working as a team, although you're not working together, but you feel like you are. So yeah, that's good.
So like when they first say like, oh yeah, you'll be making them cups of tea and you'll be helping them do it. No, it is like that, but there's so much more to it that's more rewarding than just making them a cup of tea. Like, you're helping them do all their day things that they aren't able to do. You're helping them, you're prompting them, you're assisting them. Like, it is good.
Assisting to wash and dress, making breakfasts, prompting and assisting with medication, also like communicating with service users and doing activities with them.
No day is the same when you go to work. Like, there's something that'll happen, and I don't know, it's just so different every day. And just even all the paperwork side to it, I didn't realise how important it is to like fill all the paperwork out and what comes
accident and
involved.
incident forms and things, like, they're quite difficult to do.
Yeah, when I first left school, I originally wanted to be a nurse, so I went to college for a year doing the level 5 health and social care, and then I was just finishing that, and then I was going to do the level 6 at college, but then I seen this job come up, which is the level 6 that we're working towards. So I thought, that's great, because I can get experience this way. I'm actually working in the sector already while working towards it, so I just went for it, and here I am.
I have role models in health and social care. My mum is a nurse, and my sister is training to be a nurse at uni. I have also been to college for 2 years before I started the modern apprenticeship, and I have chosen the modern apprenticeship because it was less hands-on and more work in a building.
My role model was my granda. So I looked after my granda for 2 years when he had terminal cancer. So when he passed away, after that I thought that this is the job that I would like to do. Like, from helping him and seeing how much it does help, and watching the nurses help him too. Like, to do that for a family is good, so that's why I wanted to do it.
Craigie Gardens, there's a big variety. There's a lot of people with dementia in our building, so it's weird to see how many, like, each individual on a dementia journey, how different they can be. One you can have a conversation with, and then the next you can't, and it's just adapting to how they think and always kind of thinking how they're feeling. So yeah, to never guess and just kind of go with how they're feeling that day.
Because everyone thinks that you're too young to be doing a job like what we do. So even the service users in my work will always say, oh, I feel bad having you do it because you're so young, but you just need to reassure them that this is my job and I do want to do this, and it's my pleasure helping them for things that they are not able to do.
Young people get in contact with us and sometimes they want to apply for a work placement. So we've advised for them to come and do maybe a month's placement with us, a couple of hours a week, so they can find out about what's involved in the care sector. Usually that gives them the flavour of what they can expect if they were to go into a support worker role. And generally from that they would either apply for a modern apprenticeship, or sometimes young people will go on to the support pool, which is something that's a lot more flexible, where they can pick and choose their shifts. That's something that's really applicable for young folk, especially when they're studying, if they're at university, and they're possibly studying something at university to do with the care sector. They sometimes come and work for us on the support pool so they can get that richer experience by going and supporting clients day to day.
Yeah, my interviews, I was very nervous. And then when we did have like a bit of the values-based exercise where you to write down the values, like what it means of the company, my mind just went blank and I just thought, I've got no hope here.
I also like the fact that like 2 MEs of modern apprentices was in the interview, so it was their experience as well as like what they came out of it, and you could ask them like face-to-face questions of someone that was asked in the company and doing the same role as you.
If you're younger and you're wanting a job in health and social care, I would do it. If you're outgoing and you want to be more outgoing, it's the best job for you, because you get to meet heaps of new people, like speaking to you, and you'll never have nothing to say. You'll always have something to do. You'll never be alone, basically.
If you know you want to work in this sector, I'd say get an apprenticeship. I think it's given me so much support, like from the start, from other apprentices to having your young support lead to managers. I think it's definitely the best way to get all the training you need, your qualification and the work experience that you need to get a permanent job.
So we have lots of opportunities for young people to develop in their career. Young people generally come to us and they start as support workers or in an admin role, but within those teams then there's opportunities for development for them to go into leadership roles.
In a few years' time, I think I would still want to work in my building, I think. But as a permanent member of staff, not an apprentice. And I think I'd maybe try community as well, going out and about, because I've heard it's quite good. Whereas being in a building, it's the same people every day. So I think I would go out in the community as well, or support pool. And in a few years, I'd like to progress a little bit as well, I think. Because I've seen my line manager's job and I like it. I think I'd like to progress to that eventually at some point.
We believe in investing in young people as we believe they're the next generation of workers. We want them to come here and have a long career working with us, and if we can generate an interest in them that they believe that health and social care is the career pathway for them, we want to invest in them and make sure that they come and have a long career with Bonaccord Care.
Well, 5 years from now, I don't know where I'll be, but I'll be in this line of work, I know that for sure.
In 5 years' time, I hope to still be a support worker in Bonaccord Care.